Hi everyone, my name is Erin Safe and I am an independent consultant and district manager for Arbonne International. So first of all, I'll just tell you a little bit of background about myself. So I am a personal trainer, qualified personal trainer and fitness instructor. So I've been officially qualified for the last 7, 8 months now. I've been in the industry quite actively in a professional way, probably for the last 3 to 4 years. um, but I guess my interest dates back to about 12, yeah, about 12 and a half years ago now, where I actually embarked on my own weight loss journey. So um, I guess back in school, so going right back to the crux of things, I guess. So right back in school, I was always quite active, played a lot of basketball, a lot of sport. Basketball was the main one, basketball, swimming, badminton was a big one too, dabbled in baseball, soccer, hockey, all sorts of different things. So I was quite fit, I guess. And when I was 16, actually moved interstate. Well, not interstate, nearly from one end of the state to the other anyway. So when I moved there, I didn't know anyone really, so I kind of kept to myself and didn't really play any sport. And then, of course, I leave school, I'm at uni, can't afford to buy, good healthy food. You just eat what you can, and we think we're still young and can eat whatever we want and get away with it. So that wasn't the case for me. And I did stack on the weight quite a lot. So at my heaviest, I was 86 kilograms. And one day I just simply decided enough was enough. I didn't want to feel that way anymore. So I started just making little changes in my diet, little things here and there. Up until that point, though, I had tried, like, you name it, I had tried it. I had done different shakes. I had done when I say low carb, it was literally no carbs. So I was only allowed to have 25 grams of carbs a day, which was about one slice of bread, and like carbohydrates is in everything. So that actually really made me quite ill. About 2 or 3 days into it, and I was about to pass out in my kitchen, and my housemate was like, just eat something. I've tried different medications, prescription and non-prescription. I've tried, yeah, like I said, you name it, I've tried it. So I know from personal experience what works and what doesn't. And what is healthy and what is sustainable. So anyway, yeah, so one day I decided that's it, I'm making the change. I started making little changes here and there, cutting out white breads. I just went to wholemeal and things like that. And yeah, just little slight things like that. So I lost about 5 kilos quite quickly doing those changes. I went to the gym, maybe twice a week. And anyway, then we moved interstate. So we moved from Victoria to Queensland. So again, didn't know anyone, but I thought, right, I'm on this, I'm going to keep at it. So joined a gym up here, got myself a personal trainer. Gym was not really my forte. It wasn't what sparked my passion. It was hard to go. But my personal trainer at the time, she started her own outdoor group fitness business. So I followed her to do that, and that's where I just fell in love with fitness. A complete other side. She was actually one of the first people in Mackay, at least I know, that to do the outdoor group personal training. So obviously it's quite a big thing now. So yeah, followed her, and she got me into loving running. So I could literally barely even run to the end of my driveway when I first started. So so that was a big thing for me to run. Early on in the piece, I actually found I had ruptured 3 ligaments as a child playing basketball, but had never been correctly diagnosed. So once I started running, that flared up and I had to have an ankle reconstruction. Again, wasn't going to let that stop me. So You know, as soon as I was out of surgery, I was in plaster for 2 weeks. As soon as I was out of that plaster, I was back at training. I couldn't obviously run or even really walk much. I was still on crutches, but I was doing whatever I could. So a lot of upper body work. I'd do weights training with dumbbells and things like that on the fit ball. And I would just do what I could at the classes. So I did get quite fit. I did that for about 5 years, and eventually did run my first half marathon, ran quite a few half marathons. And yeah, I was fit. I could run, I could exercise, I was quite strong. But I found that I just hit a bit of a plateau. So at that stage, I think I'd lost about maybe roughly 10 to 15 kilos. Okay. Now, then I got introduced to clean eating. And let me tell you, the change that made was unbelievable. So I did a lot of research into clean eating, a lot of research into cutting sugars out of my diet, so refined sugars, how sugar affects the body. And I upped my training to, so at that point I was training about 3 to 4 times a week. I upped it then to 5 to 6 times a week. And I embarked on my clean eating journey. So that I lost my next 10 to 15 kilos. So all up, at my lowest, I got down to 56 kilos. So 30 kilos in total I've lost, all up. So I've had 2 babies since then, and I'm currently about 2 kilos off my pre-baby weight. So, and that is just by following the clean eating and also by doing the 30 days to healthy living, which you are all undertaking at the moment. So, yeah, which is what I came across in December last year when I decided to start my personal training business. So, it just aligned with everything that I believed in terms of clean eating. Yeah, so basically what I'm here tonight or today to share with you is my top tips on how to maximize your weight loss. So these are the main things that I have learnt in my time over the last 10 years that works best, that has worked best for me. I'm not a nutritionist, I'm not a doctor or a dietitian, but this is what has worked for me with a lot of research that I've undertaken myself. Consultation, I have, consulted with doctors, I've consulted with naturopaths, and nutritionists as well. So I have just taken all of their advice on board, done my own research, and basically put it all together. So my number one tip to start with is water. Cannot stress enough how much drinking water helps with losing weight. So I suppose you're all wondering why. So quite often I've come across clients who they're eating well, they're exercising regularly, they're doing everything right by the books, and all of a sudden they're like nothing's happening. They're not losing any weight, and they're just not knowing. They just don't know what's going on. So then we start to monitor their water intake, and we realize they're not drinking enough water. So as soon as I tell them to up their water, all of a sudden they start losing weight. So I recommend that you want to aim to drink at least 2 litres a day, ultimately 3 if you can. In saying that, if you're currently struggling to even drink 600 ml of water, don't all of a sudden go and try and drink 3 litres of water, because you will make yourself sick. So you want to build up to that. So aim to drink 2 to 3 litres of water a day, plus an extra 500 to 1 litre of water for every hour of high intensity exercise that you do per day. So if you do a 1 hour HIIT session or pump session or whatever you're doing at the gym, or you're going for a run or something like that for an hour, then you want to drink another 500 to 1 litre of water. Okay, so you would be aiming for 3 to 4 litres of water a day. So the reason for this, so dehydration causes us to eat. So our thirst signals are weaker than our hunger signals. So the parts of the brain, the two parts of the brain that give us that tell us that we're thirsty and tell us that we're hungry are right next to each other. So quite often, and because that thirst signal is weaker, quite often we think we're hungry when we're actually thirsty. So what I always say is if you feel hungry, go and drink a glass of water. So 300, a big glass, so say 350 ml of water. Drink that, wait 5 to 10 minutes. If you're still hungry then have a snack, okay? Or have a meal, you know, whatever, depending on the time of day or what you've already had. By drinking that amount of water, it prevents you, because you're so consumed in trying to drink that amount of water per day, it prevents you from drinking like your high kilojoule drinks. So your fizzy drinks, your lemonade, your Coke, cordials, your flavored teas, you know, all those really high sugary drinks. So it helps you cut those out, therefore reducing your kilojoule intake. It helps give you a healthy tummy. So 3 crucial links for healthy digestion is our fiber intake, exercise, and then our fluid intake. So it reduces bloating in the stomach, flushes all the toxins out of our system, so out of our kidneys and our liver, so that they can function correctly. And it also just helps kickstart the metabolism. So another great one to do is to add lemon. Lemon is awesome for metabolism. So like, I can't stress enough, like wake up in the morning, first thing you do, have a glass of water with a squeeze of lemon in it. So what I recommend for a lot of my clients is to have a glass of water before every meal. So this just, like I said, it kickstarts the metabolism and it also helps us feel full, so therefore not eating as much. Now, another big tip that I've actually just learnt recently on this one is to drink cold water. So it is actually proven that by drinking icy cold water, it helps you to burn up to 400 extra kilojoules per day for every 2 litres of water that you drink. So that's equivalent to 1 extra snack a day. So that's pretty amazing as well. So to help you try and consume that amount of water a day, like I said, have a glass before every meal, carry a water bottle around with you all day. If you're still forgetting like how much you've actually drunk for the day to keep track, when you first wake up in the morning, fill up 3 1-litre bottles of water, sit them on the bench or on your desk at work or wherever you are, and drink them. So then you can see visually, okay, yep, I've drunk that one. Okay, I've drunk that one. Yep, okay, I've just got to drink that one for the rest of the day now and I'm done. Okay, so that's a good little tip as well. So my number 2 top tip for maximising weight loss is fat burning walks. So if you haven't heard of these before, these are amazing. So a fat burning walk is done first thing in the morning on an empty stomach. So the reason for this is so that your body burns your fat stores rather than the food you have just consumed. So when you wake up in the morning, have a glass of lemon water, okay, get that metabolism going, make it a cold one so that you're burning those extra 400 kilojoules. And what you want to do is you want to get out there, you want to work out what your max heart rate is. Now, to do this, it is just simply 220 minus your age. So I'm 33. Can't believe I just said that, but anyway, I am 33. So my max heart rate that I want to aim for to get into that fat burning zone is 187. Okay, so you want to warm up to that pace. So it is a brisk, fast walk, okay, to get up to that pace. I want to get up to that and I want to stay at that level for the duration of the walk. So usually it will take around 15 to 20 minutes to get up to that. You want to keep that for as long as you can. So ideally, if you can, at least a 45-minute walk to an hour. And yeah, you're going to get really, really great results with that. If you can't, or you don't have time in the morning for whatever reason to get up that early, and you need to do it in the afternoon, just make sure it's been at least 3 hours since you last ate anything, okay? Because again, what we're aiming for is for your body to burn the fat stores rather than the food you've been eating. My third tip, up to number 3, is sleep. Is so important to weight loss, is sleep, okay? Now, I've got 2 kids, so yeah, it's hard to get the amount of sleep that I need. But, I try every night to get a minimum of 8 hours sleep. So the reasoning behind this is it takes 6 hours when you sleep, okay, that's when your body is regenerating, recouping in terms of your skin, so your skin regeneration and skin cell turnover. It's when it's, at rest. That's when your body works, okay, because it's not trying to, to function, it can recoup. So it takes 6 hours for the body to process everything that you've consumed throughout the day. So food, tea, coffee, water, everything, okay? So after the 6 hours, that's when the body goes into a deep cleanse and starts to really deal with those excess toxins and fats and other things, okay, your fat stores. So if you can aim for a minimum of 8 hours, so you get like that sort of 2 hour of a deep cleanse, that you're doing well, okay? So aim for that. The next one that I want to talk about is your meals. So as you were coming up, so we're in the last week now, I think, last week of our 30 days. So we're starting to, we're going to be on our own now, unless you're joining in for the next 30 days, which I'm actually seriously considering of doing myself, because I'm feeling amazing. So when you think about your meals, when you're coming off the shakes, so it's a common misconception that our dinner is to be our largest meal of the day, okay? So now when I'm saying when you go to sleep, your body is trying to process everything from the day, think about it, like why would you have your biggest meal at the end of the day? So you want to have your biggest meal of a morning, okay? So for your breakfast, to fuel you for the day, to get you through the day, to get you through your work, through your running after the kids, through to be able to do your exercise that you want to do, all of those things, you want to be fueled for the day. So the biggest meal of the day is to be your breakfast, okay? Then your lunch, and then your dinner is the smallest meal of the day, okay? So for so many years, we've just got it backwards, really. Having this small little maybe bowl of cereal that's generally high in sugar these days, and building up from there. So, we want to have, something light in our tummies for dinner. So, whether you have a shake, like the shakes, especially if you exercise at night time, like having a smoothie, like there's nothing wrong with staying on the meal replacement shakes, even after the 30 days for things like dinner. Like I know that I do, and I will after this. It's great to have that protein boost for muscle repair after a workout. So, and I don't know about you guys, but I know when I've done a big workout, I don't particularly feel like eating much anyway. So I will always just have a smoothie for dinner. So, yeah, that's a really important one too. So making sure your breakfast is the largest meal of the day, then your lunch, and then your dinner. Now, the last thing coming into, the biggest rule with clean eating, so is the clean eating pyramid. So quite often, so we want to look, we want to have your fruit, veggies, and water as your main things that you consume, okay? Then going up, okay, you have your nuts, seeds, legumes, and good fats. And then the next level we go into meats, okay? I do think that meat is important. I know a lot of people might disagree with me. We won't go into that, but at the same time, I do also believe that, you know, we need to minimize the amount because it is hard for our body to process, especially red meat. So you want to keep it to minimum portions. So, you know, you're looking at the, you know, just the palm of your hand in size, okay, for your meat. And you want to try and get a good variation, okay? So you don't want to eat red meat every night. It's just too hard for your body to break down. So mix it up, you know, have, say, fish once or twice a week and chicken twice a week, maybe red meat once a week, have a vegetarian meal one week, you know, one night. And, yeah, you know, turkey is really great too. It's a really lean meat. Also in that one is our grains. So we're wanting to look at whole grains, okay? Not wholemeal, whole grain, okay? So what we're aiming to consume is the least amount of processing possible with our foods, okay? So you want to look for your whole grain pasta, your brown rice, and you still want to try and limit your rice because it is a harsh grain. So, you know, quinoa is a really great option and it's beautiful. I actually prefer it over rice anyway. And in terms of breads or wraps, go for your rye, okay? So it's a lot nicer on the stomach. And if you do want to have flours and have a little bit of gluten, I recommend going for a spelt. There are a lot of good gluten-free flours too, like banana flour, coconut flour, almond flour, which are all great, which I tend to use a lot of. But if I do, you know, some recipes, they don't always quite work, but a spelt flour is a good option. It's a wheat that's not processed like the wheat that you get these days with just your normal white flours and things like that. You know, it's back like in the olden days. So it's a lot easier for your body to digest. Then the next one, as we're moving on up, so the second top one is our dairy, okay? I haven't really gone too much into dairy, and I won't go into too much because I'm kind of going over the amount of time that I had allocated for this video, and you may all get bored with me, I don't know. But yeah, dairy is very hard for the body to process. It's got a lot of negative impacts on the body. There are a lot of better calcium sources out there. However, you know, it's okay to have it in small portions, okay? And then at the very, very top of the pyramid there, we're looking at our refined sugars, okay? So, you know, lollies and sweets and chocolates and all that yummy stuff. But, you know, with the clean eating, we can make so many delicious treats out of natural fruits and vegetables and things like that, dates and you know, different things like that. Bananas are awesome as a sweetener to put in different foods. So we just want to really cut out those refined sugars and also those really high saturated fats, okay? So we want to stick to things like good fats, so like avocado, our, you know, olive oils, macadamia oils, coconut oil, things like that, okay? So I hope that all makes sense. But yeah, they are probably the main things that I have learned over my time that I have found to have the biggest impact in weight loss, and that has worked best for me. So yeah, I hope that helps you guys out a little bit. And if you've got any questions on anything at all, I'm more than happy to answer them. You know, just flick me a message, Erin Safe, or in our group, you know. Yeah, you can feel free to post it in our group as well. But if you're wanting it private, feel free to message me privately. That's no problems at all. So yeah, okay, I hope you guys are doing well. We're nearly finished week 4, so keep up the good work, and I hope you're all where you were wanting to be at this point. So enjoy the rest of the challenge, and I will be hopefully speaking to you all again soon. Bye.